What is up, guys? Wrestling Premiere is here. Now, this video won the vote over some other videos like the feud between Mickie James and Trish Stratus, every Raw guest host, that kind of stuff. This video won the vote, the rise of John Cena. Now, this is the second rise of video I am making right now. The last one was the rise of Jeff Hardy, and that was in my early days when I had like 10 subscribers. Which reminds me, thank you guys for 30k. It seriously means a lot to me. Like, I just remember making a lot of these videos and no one was watching them. All of a sudden, you guys came, and I'd just like to thank you all guys for that. Thank you for 30k. Right now, let's get on to the road to 50k. Alright, back to this video. Now, I watched that documentary and everything, but this video is a bit different from that documentary. They didn't cover his feuds and everything. Like, they didn't. That's what I'm going to do. Right now, we got to go all the way back to 2002, and I'm not even going to mention anything in that documentary because you might have watched it. Okay, John Cena, a member of that legendary OVW class of 2002 that also included Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Batista, and Shelton Benjamin. Now, in terms of how good that class was, I'd compare it to the 1984 NFL and NBA drafts, because 80% of them became world champions. Brock Lesnar was obviously the standout, Orton was the prodigy, Batista was the powerhouse, and Cena, well, he was the prototype. The prototype gimmick in itself didn't make it to TV. This would end up becoming a blessing in disguise for John Cena. You guys know the story. Vince McMahon wanted ruthless aggression from the WWE roster. On the June 27, 2002 episode of SmackDown, Angle challenged anyone that's never faced him to a matchup. Out came the rookie John Cena. Angle asked Cena if there's one quality that he possesses that makes him think he could come out here and face the very best in the business. Cena replied with ruthless aggression. It's known. I didn't even go into detail with it because we could use that time to cover something less known about this run. Cena pushed Angle to the limit, but he wouldn't emerge victorious. Nonetheless, he earned the respect of many WWE superstars, including The Undertaker. From there, Cena began a small feud with the first undisputed champion, Chris Jericho. Y2J at this point was in the mid and upper mid-card scene. He had main evented WrestleMania, but at this point, it didn't seem like it at all. The following week, Mr. McMahon told Cena that he was impressed with Cena's performance the previous week. Then Vince introduced Cena to Chris Jericho. Y2J didn't like the fact that Cena interrupted his conversation with Vince, and he insulted Cena's look, and he got a slap for that. Later that night, the two faced off. Y2J ended up winning this one by using the ropes for leverage. After the match, Jericho offered Cena a handshake. Cena shook his hand, but Jericho elbowed Cena, and this would come back to bite Y2J as Cena gained the upper hand. Following this, the two had a rematch 2 weeks later. Cena won this one by DQ after Jericho low-blowed him. After the match, Y2J locked Cena in the walls of Jericho. He had to be pulled away by several officials, and that wasn't it, cause Jericho whacked Cena with a chair afterwards. Since Jericho never beat Cena clean, a match was set for vengeance. John Cena versus Y2J Chris Jericho. This match saw Cena shockingly win. He countered the walls into a roll-up to win the match. Jericho's awesome. He put over someone who had been on the roster less than 2 months. He didn't really have to put him over. Like, he could have just said, I win this match, and that's it. He main evented WrestleMania 4 months earlier, and right now, he lost to a rookie. Like, that's crazy. You'd think this victory would propel Cena to a better place on the card, but no. Following this, he was just there. He won some matches against the likes of Test and Devon, but he wasn't improving. He didn't have a character. He was just the guy who wore trunks the color of whatever city sports team. It wasn't until the October 17th episode of SmackDown where Cena turned heel. He attacked his partner Billy Kidman after a matchup. The following week, he cemented his heel turn. After losing a match against Billy Kidman, Cena decided to attack him. Now, Kidman won the match by using the ropes for leverage, and Cena did this too the previous week on Kidman, but he didn't like this. He didn't like this at all. Cena clotheslined the hell out of Kidman after the match, and he kicked his ass. Cena then threw Kidman into the steel steps, and there it was. The first and only heel turn of John Cena. The following week, Cena dressed up as Vanilla Ice on Halloween, and the rest was history. I assume you guys know the story, but for those of you that don't know, Cena was on the verge of getting released, and he overheard Rikishi and Rey Mysterio freestyling on the bus, and then he had decided to ask the higher-ups if he could become a rapper, and eventually he freestyled to Stephanie McMahon, and so Cena became a rapper. Good thing Cena actually knew how to freestyle a bit, otherwise this would have gone south. Now, while I was making this video, I found this quote from Bruce Pritchard's Something to Wrestle podcast. Apparently, Paul Heyman wasn't a big fan of Cena's wanksta gimmick. As a matter of fact, he thought it would destroy his career. Here it is. To quote Paul Heyman, "You put the rap gimmick on Cena and you will kill John Cena's career." Paul felt that the rap gimmick was going to be the death knell of John Cena and that it would stereotype him and pigeonhole him and he would never be able to work his way out of it. Hated the idea, went to Cena and told Cena, "They're killing your career, don't do it. It's going to be bad." And Heyman went to Vince and told Vince that it's going to kill Cena. and the fact that Paul petitioned so hard against it, it probably helped Vince decide, yeah, let's try it. Now, the reason why this gimmick worked is because it felt like a product of that time. That's the reason I thought it worked out, like, you know, Eminem, G-Unit, all that stuff during that time period. Cena's character was basically that of someone from the early 2000s. It's as simple as that. A week later, Cena was interviewed by Funaki, who was SmackDown's #1 announcer. All of a sudden, Cena freestyled about Rikishi and his match against him. Rikishi noticed this and he rapped a freestyle of his own. Slowly, Cena's demeanor changed. He added something to his character every week, slowly and slowly. On the November 21st episode of SmackDown, Cena changed his entrance theme to the one that plays on SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. Alright, after his match with Rikishi, which he lost, Bull Buchanan returned and he slammed Rikishi on the mat. He then hit 2 leg drops on him and it looked like Cena knew him. Also, Michael Cole said that Cena's lost in the 80s. Bull Buchanan began to accompany Cena to the ring and he was basically Cena's bodyguard at this point. He was also renamed to B-Squared. Cena then changed his ring attire completely. He traded in his colorful trunks for shorts, and instead of boots, he wore sneakers, although that change wouldn't come until later on. From there, Cena began to appear more frequently on TV and pay-per-views. His first pay-per-view appearance as a rapper came at Armageddon in 2002 when he freestyled. He also had a decent showing at the 2003 Royal Rumble, lasting for about 20 minutes. Also, Cena during this time period got rid of B-Squared and instead had Red Dog be his bodyguard. That in itself didn't even last long, and Red Dog moved to Raw where he became Rodney Mack. On the February 6, 2003 episode of SmackDown, Cena began to make fun of Lesnar and he challenged him to a matchup. He even did the rewind thing, which he used to do as the prototype. Lesnar obviously accepted the match, and Cena pissed off Lesnar before the match, and this was a matchup that saw Cena get an F5 onto the post. This injured Cena's knee and he was out for 2 months, although I'm not too sure about that because I couldn't really find something about it on the internet. During these 2 months, Cena vowed to get revenge on Lesnar week after week. It wasn't until the March 27, 2003 episode where he returned. This was the night Cena debuted his Basic Thuganomics theme song, and during that night, he also debuted the FU by hitting it on Rikishi. So this was a night of firsts. At WrestleMania, John Cena didn't really appear. I mean, he did appear on Heat, but there was some technical difficulties during his entrance and some stuff. Once that stuff got fixed, Cena freestyled about Jay-Z and Fabulous. Well, before the event, he issued a challenge to Jay-Z for WrestleMania. Jay-Z obviously didn't show up and Cena started to freestyle about him. He then focused on Fabulous and he said that Fabulous was arrested not for possessing guns, but because his raps suck. I felt like they should have had Cena cut this promo on the main show. He even said that the XFL was a bad idea. Anyways, after WrestleMania, Cena got his chance to shine when he won a tournament to become the #1 contender to the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar was the champ, so this all made sense. Cena didn't win the title at Backlash, but it looked like he was going to be a star in the future. After this, the Doctor of Thuganomics continued to rap and ridicule mid-card superstars until the June 26th episode of SmackDown. On that night, Cena decided to commemorate his debut by issuing an open challenge to a rookie. Out came Orlando Jordan. Cena ended up barely winning this one after he grabbed Jordan's tights. After the match, Cena continued attacking Jordan, and this led to The Undertaker coming out. Cena walked out the ring, and this was the beginning of a feud between the two. At one point during this feud, Cena said that Taker dropped him like a bad habit because, if you remember, John Cena in the beginning was like paired up with The Undertaker for like the first 2 weeks. He shook his hand and he tagged along with him on an episode of SmackDown. Now, this feud was about respect. Cena claimed to be a veteran and he was out here acting disrespectful. Like, he just debuted like a year ago and suddenly he's acting like he owns the place, while The Undertaker had to teach the Doctor of Thuganomics about respect. It's simple as that. He even said that everybody's gotta learn the hard way. At one point during this feud, John Cena pissed on a grave. Like, what the hell? That is one of the most ridiculous things to come out of Cena's rapper gimmick. Like, it's so random and obscure. He pissed on a grave. Cena got his ass handed to him at Vengeance by The Undertaker. Cena didn't go down without a fight, however, as he held his own. This wasn't the end of the feud though, as the two were set to face off on the August 7th episode of SmackDown. Cena won that match after A-Train interfered. From there, Cena began a small feud with Eddie Guerrero over the United States Championship. On the August 28th episode of SmackDown, John Cena interrupted Eddie Guerrero's promo in Latino Heat's hometown of El Paso, Texas. Guerrero was having fun with the fans and Cena decided to crash the party. Cena rapped about Guerrero and the El Paso fans, and he was booed by everyone. No one even said Cena's last word, you know, "You're just a stupid," and he raises the microphone. No one said that. It felt like the crowd was Eddie's family. That's how much they liked him, and that's how it actually was. Like, 100% of the crowd was on Eddie's side. You can't see anyone that was on Cena's side. Cena then challenged Eddie to a US title match. Latino Heat accepted, and the match was set. When Eddie threw some rights, the crowd was going absolutely crazy. This is certainly one of the most underrated pops ever. I didn't even know this existed. I knew about this segment and all, but I didn't know the crowd was that loud. It's so overlooked. Eddie then wore Cena's Massachusetts jersey and his hat. Now, during the match, both men got busted open, and Cena got himself disqualified by low-blowing Eddie. He then hit Latino Heat with his chain, and he continued to brutalize Eddie as the El Paso crowd booed. Cena then grabbed a wheel, and he FU'd Eddie on top of it. The following week, Cena stole Eddie Guerrero's lowrider. Now, since these two had a heated feud, they were set to face off in the first ever Latino Heat parking lot brawl on the September 11th episode of SmackDown. This match was fun. I don't understand why they don't have more of these matches, but this one was enjoyable. Anyways, Eddie won this one after Chavo randomly came out and he whacked Cena with something. Eddie then hit the frog splash on top of a hood to win the match and the feud. After this, the Doctor of Thugonomics reignited his feud with Kurt Angle. This time though, Cena was the heel and Angle was the face. Now, I know this happened before the feud, but remember when Kurt Angle did a freestyle of his own on Cena? The ref was beatboxing during the segment, like, oh my god, that's too much. Kurt is so versatile. He was entertaining on the mic, he was funny, he was basically the complete package. Anyways, this feud was once again about respect, something which Cena lacked for the veterans. Like, he didn't have any respect for anyone. In the build-up to No Mercy, John Cena claimed that Kurt Angle was jealous of him because he became an American icon. And at one point, Kurt Angle came out donning a Jaguars jersey and he mocked Cena. He ridiculed Cena or himself, and then a smaller version of Kurt Angle came out and he gave Cena the ankle lock. The real John Cena then came out and he got a low blow from the mini Kurt Angle. The real Angle then hit the angle slam on the Doctor of Thugonomics, and at No Mercy, John Cena faced Kurt Angle. This match was probably Cena's best one up to that point, and I just watched it yesterday and I thought it was outstanding. I felt like in storyline, Cena had Angle, but it was ultimately his inexperience that cost him the match. That's what it felt like. Angle with his grit and determination managed to find a way to lock Cena in the ankle lock to make him tap out. All in all, a great wrestling match. Since Cena was getting a positive reaction from the crowd, WWE decided to turn him into a babyface. On the November 6, 2003 episode of SmackDown, Paul Heyman gave John Cena the final spot in Team Lesnar. The only problem with Cena being on Team Lesnar is the fact that Cena himself didn't want the spot. Cena said that nobody tells him what to do. A-Train then came out and he ambushed Cena. Team Lesnar then entered the ring and Lesnar blasted Cena with a chair. So basically this was the first time John Cena, the rapper, was a face. The following week, Kurt Angle chose John Cena to be the final member of his team. Chris Benoit didn't like this as he didn't trust John Cena one bit. Now, this face turn of John Cena started off weird. This didn't air on TV, but I feel like I found it on the internet a few years ago. After their tag team match, John Cena ended up FUing Benoit. Apparently, this was Michael Hayes' idea. They wanted Cena to be edgy like Stone Cold Steve Austin. The crowd in the arena didn't react to this positively, and it was edited out of the broadcast. At Survivor Series, John Cena and Chris Benoit won the matchup for Team Angle. Cena hit the FU on the Big Show for the first time, and it seemed like there were big plans in store for the Doctor of Thugonomics. After Survivor Series, John Cena was started to be treated like a big deal. Like, he was already a bit of a big deal, but this time though, it felt like he was on the cusp of main event stardom. He was always a focal point of the show, and slowly, Cena began to gain momentum heading into WrestleMania 20. Before the show, however, Cena suffered an injury at the Royal Rumble. He tore his MCL. This might have kept him off the show, but he managed to recover right before No Way Out. Kurt Angle capitalized on this injury by making Cena tap out at No Way Out. This was a triple threat number one contenders match that also included the Big Show. I believe this was the last time Cena tapped out. On that week's SmackDown, John Cena challenged Big Show to a United States Championship match at WrestleMania. He managed to make Big Show accept after he called him the world's biggest, and so the match was set. The Big Show versus John Cena, WrestleMania 20 US title. Alright, when Cena came out to the ring at WrestleMania, everyone cheered him. He got some Cena chants, Cena. Donning a Patrick Ewing jersey, Cena rapped about WrestleMania and Big Show. Near the end of the match, Cena grabbed his chain, the ref took it away from him, and he decided to capitalize on a distracted ref by blasting Big Show with the brass knuckles. He then hit the FU on Big Show to become the new United States Champion. Awesome moment. It was a long time coming for Cena. He was one of the most over acts at the time in WWE, so it was a great thing to see him win a title. All in all, this is one of the more memorable moments of his career, because it was his first singles title, obviously. Now, Cena's US title reign wasn't really memorable. I will say though that he had a good run as champ. What that means is his title reign is known. Yeah, Everyone knows he won the title at WrestleMania, but after that, was there really a standout moment? I do have one though. That's the main event against The Undertaker. That's all. Other than that, what other memorable moment came from his title reign? There might be one, but I can't think of one right now. After WrestleMania 20, WWE was very thin on top guys on SmackDown. Brock Lesnar left, Big Show went on hiatus, Chris Benoit went to Raw, and Kurt Angle was recovering from his neck injuries. The only notable faces they had on SmackDown in that time period were The Undertaker, Rob Van Dam, Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, and Rey Mysterio. The roster was thin and they needed to make a star on the brand quick, so they continued to build up John Cena and he continued to gain momentum heading into SummerSlam. Right before the event, John Cena got stripped of the US title by SmackDown GM Kurt Angle. He was then placed in a best-of-5 series against Booker T for the title. They traded victories until No Mercy, where Cena won the series and the title. This US title reign in itself didn't last long as Cena lost it to Carlito 2 days earlier. After this loss, Cena went on to film The Marine, and in storyline, Cena's absence was because he got stabbed in a club. Apparently, New Jack was supposed to be the guy who did it, but it ended up being Jesus. Imagine if it was New Jack. There probably would have been a great feud for Cena and New Jack before WrestleMania. Not sure though. When Cena returned, he reclaimed the US title, and this time around, he changed the design of the title to a spinner version. It didn't last 8 years like another design. Now, this title reign saw John Cena make it to the final 2 of the Royal Rumble. He won the SmackDown #1 Contenders Tournament with this title reign, and he even beat Kurt Angle in the final. I believe this was the first time Cena beat Angle. It was like the final roadblock for Cena before WrestleMania. Since Cena won, he was set to face JBL at WrestleMania 21. In the build-up to WrestleMania, JBL cost John Cena the United States Championship, and he even destroyed it. JBL said that Cena disgraced the US title by making it a bling-bling sideshow. This feud was simple. Cena's character was totally opposite of JBL's. They both didn't like each other. At one point, both men couldn't strike one another, so Cena decided to mess around. He provoked JBL without touching him by pouring water onto his hat and onto his head. He destroyed the tires of his limo, he sprayed some stuff on his limo, all that. But JBL would have Cena arrested the following week on SmackDown for vandalism. When Cena got handcuffed, JBL touched Cena, which meant that he could strike back. Obviously, he didn't get to do that because JBL kicked him in the groin. At WrestleMania, the two finally faced off. The match itself lacked heat. With the way they built up the match, you'd think that this would be a fight, but it wasn't. Maybe in storyline, both men realized that the title is more important. I'm not sure. That's how you could explain it in storyline, but in real life, it wasn't even that good. Anyways, I remember JBL dominated most of the match, but then Cena made his comeback near the end and he FU'd JBL to become the new WWE champion. And there it was. After nearly 3 years of chasing this goal, Cena has done it. I'm not going to talk too much about WrestleMania 21 because that's the first WrestleMania I'm going to cover. That comment had the most likes of a WrestleMania, so yeah. As for John Cena's title win at WrestleMania, it's one of the more historic moments, along with Batista's, because they finally built up 2 stars to follow Austin and Rock. They were lacking 2 top guys. They finally built them, and there it was. Sure, the match may have not been good, but at least they got the job done. So yeah, John Cena is champion. Now, I'm going to do a lot of WrestleMania videos. I'm just going to say it right now. You guys know WrestleMania 21 is the first one I'm going to cover, but after that, I'm going to go in order starting with WrestleMania 15 because I want to cover Austin and Rock's feud, and plus I'm lacking in Attitude Era content. I'm not sure how many I'm going to do, but there's going to be a lot. I'm going to go with 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 25. I'm just going to do a lot of them. That's all I'm going to say. They're going to be spread out. They're not going to come every 2 days, every 4 days perhaps. So WrestleMania 15, a video, another video, WrestleMania 17, another video. Basically, you get it. And that's it for this video. Make sure you hit a 5-knuckle shuffle on the like button and perhaps the FU on the subscribe button. Peace, I'm out.